Hi, welcome to ICT Lectures. So today we are going to look at network basic concepts. So by the end of this particular tutorial, we should be able to understand what networks are, what are the benefits of networks, and of course, we need to understand how to implement a basic network. So welcome, and feel free to subscribe. All right, thanks.
In this lesson, I'm going to talk about what networking is all about, the basic definitions and things that are involved when we talk about networking. So what is a basic computer network? Think of this as a computer network which primarily is defined as the interconnection of two or more computers. Now this could be other devices as well. Nowadays we have mobile devices, we have wireless computing, for example, and so on. But just the very basics is the fact that a computer network is defined as the interconnection of two or more computers, and these computers can be connected through any medium, so physical cables or wireless and so on. It is done to enable the computers to communicate and share available resources. Just like when we receive emails, we send documents, attachments, and so on. Sharing of resources such as printers. So, for instance, we have several printers within our office environment or home, and all of these printers are connected to your own computer. So that, for example, if you were to print a document, you can send the request to any one of the printers. Sharing of expensive softwares and databases. Similar analogy, as printers, you can share software, you can share database where you store all the information. Communication from one computer to another. The exchange of data and information among users via the network. So a good example is email. So you send out an email, it goes from your mobile device, your laptop, your personal computer, for example, to someone else's computer, laptop, and mobile device. Sharing of information over geographically wide areas. So it doesn't really matter where the person is, whether the person resides in New York or San Francisco, from one city to another city, it doesn't really matter, or even from one country to another country. So all of these definitions essentially make up what we call today is a computer network. So the components that are required to form a network, a basic network, is two or more computers. We also need cables that can physically connect these computers together, a network interface card, also known as the NIC card or NIC, on each computer, because you'd have to physically connect the two computers together, and what's required is a basic network card. And again, if you're using cables to connect, when we talk about wireless computing, it's a different ball game, and I'll demonstrate and I'll talk about that when we get to that lesson. But just the components, the basic components, you need a network interface card on your laptop, computer, and so on. Other components are switches and hubs also, for example. So a switch, think of this as just a device. It's a physical device, for instance, that allows multiple connections to it. So this is similar to a post office, right? So you throw out a letter in the post office, the mail gets processed, and then the post office identifies where it needs to send your mail to, and it goes there and gets delivered. We also need a component called the software called operating system. So for instance, Windows 8, Windows 8.1 is an operating system. You may have an operating system called Mac OS if you have an Apple computer, for example, or a Linux operating system, a Unix, and so on. So this is what a basic network interface card looks like. So if you were to visually see your personal computer, your laptop, you'll notice something that looks like this. Obviously, you're not going to notice the inside because that goes inside your computer, but the external part is what you will be able to see from the outside. And this is where the cable fits in. So why do we network? I mentioned briefly earlier, but importantly, we network so that we can share our resources. We can collaborate with other individuals. If you're working within an organization, for example, you're sharing documents, you're sharing information, data, and so on. We also network to do connectivity or connect systems together from one country to the other, from one city to another city, and so on. As far as the hardware is concerned, a network allows users to share many hardware devices, physical devices, that is printers, modems, fax machines, CD-ROMs, players, and so on. As far as the software is concerned, sharing software resources simply reduces the cost of software installation and also saves space on your hard disk. So, several benefits of why we do networking. Here's the list of all these benefits. Some additional benefits as well. Increased speed. For example, if I were to send an email, it reaches instantly as opposed to using the regular post office to deliver a letter. Reduce costs, improve security, centralized software management, electronic mail, and flexible access. All of these are benefits of why we network. Here, just a simple illustration of one computer to another computer, right? So think of this as the source system, the system that is going to send out information, and then, of course, the destination system, the computer that is going to receive the data. So the first thing is obviously the source. The second step would be the transmitter. We need some device that needs to transmit that data. And then step 3 would be the actual transmission, whether it's a cable, whether it's wireless, and so on. And then, of course, the fourth step would be the receiver, and then the fifth would be the destination. So the transmitter, which is step 2 in this illustration, and then 4, which is the receiver, are essentially the same. So you have a network interface card on computer A, and then you have a network interface card on computer B. So both of these are basically acting as a transmitter from the source system, and then the receiver at the destination system. In between, which is number 3, is actually the medium of transmission, cable, wireless, and so on. So just a simple workstation PC sending data from one to the other, and the middle is the actual medium of transmission. So I hope this helps. Practice with these concepts, and let's move to the next lesson.